I don't know why I'm here.
And we are live! Back with another rendition of the Prove Me Wrong podcast in Los's Corner Store. I'm your host, Carlos Ojeda. I need to get better at doing the intro. I don't always do it, but I should. Let's jump straight into it. It is the 28th of September. It is my grandma's birthday. Happy birthday, Lely. We're going to go over UFC 266, which was so much fun. Oh my God, one of the best nights of fights I've seen in a while. I had a great time. And then we're going to jump into the UFC Vegas 38 predictions. But let's stay on topic. UFC 266, Volkanovski versus Ortega, which was an absolute banger of a card. This was so fun to watch. Let's jump straight into it. The prelims, Tyler Santos, unanimous decision over Roxanne Modafferi. Cleaner boxing, more power, was able to stay off her feet and on her feet and out of bad positions with Roxanne. I feel bad for Roxanne. Everybody loves the Happy Warrior. Good win by Tyler Santos in a relatively good fight. Chris Dawkins with a KO over Shamil Abdurakhimov. I'm sorry. But I called it. I thought it was going to be round 2. It ended up being round 1. Chris Dawkins is an absolute menace to society. That man has crisp boxing and that natural heavyweight power. Literally, yesterday, they announced that he was going to be fighting Derek Lewis in a Fight Night main event on December 18th. So Derek Lewis is coming back this year, and Chris Dawkins is going to be the one to welcome him back to the UFC this year. That fight's going to be real good. Dan Hooker, unanimous decision over Nasrat Haqparast. I mean, this was a good fight. Dan Hooker showed there's levels to this shit. There's especially in the grappling. Everybody knows Dan Hooker is a striker, but Dan Hooker pretty much just showed he could go anywhere. He was even on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour. He was like, I think he said something like, "Yeah, I mean, I felt the fight is easier there. Like, how about it's his responsibility to get up? It's not my responsibility to not do that." So I liked it. Good, solid win by Dan Hooker. He ended up calling out Beneil Dariush, which would be a real fun fight to have. And then to top off the prelims, we have one of the best fights I've seen in a while in Marab Vallesville versus Marlon Morice. Marab got the TKO win, but without beautifulness and without excitement. Marlon Morice cracked him early, dropped him a couple times in the first round. It looked real bad for Marab. Keith Peterson's a real one, though. He acknowledged the fact that Marab was intelligently defending himself. He was able to get up and still kind of throw back at Marlon. But we saw him kind of like hulk up. And then like after that, it was a wrap. Because every time the fight hit the ground, even after that when the fight wasn't hit the ground, Marab was still getting some good combinations off on the feet. But Marab just straight up hulked out and pinned Marlon down and beat the crap out of him for the last minute. I remember during the fight, I wanted Marab to win so bad. I was so hyped for Marab. When he got rocked, everybody was jumping up and down, including myself. I was like, oh my God. And then I was like screaming at the TV, and then Marab got the takedown, and I said, this is where you work to win the round back. And I said that to all of the people in the room. I was like, he's going to win this round back. He's going to win the round back. And then DC goes on and says, no way he's winning this round back. Like literally right after I said that. And then a minute and a half later, DC was like, well, I guess that's how you win the round back. Like, yeah, Marab Dvalishvili hulked up and completely dominated for the last minute and a half of that round. I thought it was going to be stopped. And then going into the second round, it was more of the same but worse. Marab was outclassing Marlon Morice both on the feet and on the ground. Marlon Morice, you know, first round warrior, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows gas tank's not the best. He's that, like, explosive guy that needs to win in, like, 2.5 minutes or else it's not going to happen. But, yeah, Marab just with a different type of will. That fight was wild. That fight was crazy. Good stuff by Marab de Vallesville. I will never get that name right or wrong. Main card, Jessica Andrade TKO over Cynthia Calvillo. You know, it's Cynthia tried her damn best, but Jessica just puts that pressure on you with that power, and she can swing those bombs for 15 minutes for sure. 25 is a suspect, but for 15 minutes, I feel she has the endurance to swing those bombs, especially if there's no grappling involved. Jessica Andrade called out this. She started talking about strawweight. She called out the strawweight division. She's trying to get that belt back after unsuccessfully trying to get the 125 belt. You know, she's one of those girls that can kind of jump up through 3 weight classes, really. If she wanted to fight at 135, I believe she could. She has in the past. She has had success. Curtis Blades, unanimous decision over Jairzinho Rosenstrike. Rosenstrike had the one good moment, which was the flying knee. Other than that, it was complete domination by Curtis Blades. Showed a lot of heart. I was swelling up bad. Still was able to box and get the win using his grappling. Yeah, good solid win. Who predicted anything other than that? I don't know. But yeah. Curtis Blades probably doesn't move up or down. Probably just stays at number 4. Robbie Lawler, TKO over Nick Diaz. Okay, so this is where it gets weird. This is where it gets weird because Nick Diaz comes out flying, spinning heel kick, then gets kneed in the face because it does not work. And then for like a minute and a half to 2 minutes, we're watching like an oh shit moment. Like, oh no. Like, oh no. But 6 years off, after 2 minutes, you could see Nick Diaz was in the fight. He was definitely he definitely came back to win the first round. He was fluid with his combinations. He was fighting backwards, but he was really lighting Robbie up. Round 2, great round. This is some great back and forth action. Both guys getting cracked, both guys getting hit hard. Nick definitely landing more combinations, but the power of Robbie is definitely the difference in that round. I still gave it to Nick, but I'm not mad if you gave it to Robbie. Then in the third round, when we start to see Nick Diaz, he looks like he's kind of slowing down, but it's Nick Diaz. So he's still going to come in. He's still going to throw combinations by the dozens, which he does. Then Robbie cracks him, hits him again. Nick Diaz falls to one knee, broken nose for sure, then gets on the ground, and Robbie says, no, get up. And Nick Diaz just gets back up to one knee and goes, straight, I'm done. It's all right. And I don't think that's an outcome anybody expected, but I don't think it's an outcome anybody's mad at. Because when you watch Nick Diaz fight, he's got that scowl on his face like, yeah, come here, motherfucker. But this time it was more like, you can see he's not the same person mentally, and I feel like his mental game was a big reason that he won the fight. Not saying that he's like a crackhead or anything. It's just like he's not in the same place in his life to be doing the things that he's doing or that he was doing back in the day. I think he's come to more peace with his life, and I think that's the direct result of him not fighting as good or as well on Saturday. He went from being one of the most conditioned fighters to quitting in the third round. He did quit, but all is forgiven when you're Nick Diaz. You know, he's a general. He even gave like probably the funniest and hardest to watch post-fight interview I've ever seen of all time. You know, he was just like, you know, I was leaking. I didn't want to make a mess. And then he was like, good old Rob. It's like, dude is just a guy, man. He's just a guy who's super good at fighting. And after he broke his nose, he was like, yo, I don't want to fucking do this right now. You know, it came out, his training camp was this, his training camp was that. You know, at the end of the day, I just don't think in that third round after he broke his nose, he found a reason to continue. There's no reason to continue. And I do think we're going to see him again. I do think he will have a better performance next time out. But yeah, pretty fun fight. Pretty tough ending. I'm not mad at it. I love Nick Diaz. I love Robbie Lawler. Met Robbie Lawler at the Texas Roadhouse. I don't know if I said that last video, but I did. Coolest guy in the world. Coolest guy in the world. I was freaking the fuck out because he was like literally like right there. He's like literally right there. And I was like, oh no, like that's Robbie fucking Lawler. I was seeing the wait staff, like everybody would bring him like a lemon or like a water. Or like, and it'd be different people every time. Just so people could be like, holy shit, that's Robbie Lawler. Nobody did that, but like, I was freaking out. So Mark was like, he leaned over and he was like, hey man, big fan, just want to let you know, no need to bother you. He was like, oh man, it's all good, thank you, I appreciate it. And then like, literally 15 minutes later, I was like, hey man, I'm not gonna lie, I've been freaking out in this chair. I'm just sorry to say I'm a big fan and I think you're awesome. And awesome. And then I dapped him up and he was like, oh, thanks man, I appreciate it. It's no big deal. And I was like, dude, you're the coolest fucking guy. He's the coolest fucking guy. Robbie Lawler is the type of dude that you want to just be like, yeah, you want to go eat like chicken wings and watch the game? You know? Sit down, watch the game. I don't know if he's into football, but it's like he's just a dude. He's just the coolest fucking guy. He's the coolest fucking guy. Next up, Valentina Chefchako. I just talked about that for a really long time, but that's fine. It's my podcast. Valentina Chefchako, TKO over Lauren Murphy. This was expected to be expected. You know what I mean? Like, Shevchenko's one of the baddest women in the game. Lauren Murphy definitely is a good fighter, but it's like Valentina Chefchako and everybody else in that division. But then again, it's like Valentina Chefchenko and Amanda Nunes. So it's like, we need that fight again. Do I think it'll happen? No, don't. Amanda's probably going to steamroll Pena. And then we'll see what happens, but I don't think, and also the best like cross promotion we're going to get is Nunes versus Cyborg, Bellator and UFC. Although I don't think that'll happen. I think that'll happen before Valentina fights Amanda. Yeah. I mean, she like hit her with a combination, then hit her with a head kick. It was domination. Like from start to finish, I was like, damn, Lauren got nothing off. Lauren ain't got nothing for her, which sucks because Lauren Murphy's an awesome person. Just wasn't in the books for her tonight. You know what I mean? Wasn't in the books. And then for the consensus so far fight of the year, Alexander Volkanovski versus Brian Ortega. This was an absolutely amazing fight. The first round, Alexander was definitely piecing him up. Like he was definitely getting the better of the exchanges, but it was a fun first round where both guys showed success. Second round, Alex just puts the whole lot of the pressure on him. Pretty much just dominates the entire second round. And then in that third round, Alex is doing the same thing, piecing him up on the feet, putting pressure on him, out-feinting him. Brian still landed some good punches here and there, but it's definitely Volk's round. And then Volkanovski gets dropped. Ortega jumps on him with the guillotine, sunk in so tight. It was a mounted guillotine. And Volkanovski was trapped. Like Ortega did everything right. Had the legs, had the head, had the torque. But Volkanovski just shook his way out. Literally just flailed like a fucking animal. And was like, no, not today, baby boy. And then after doing that, because you're not really doing like anything like, you know what I'm saying? You're not using technique, so it's easy to catch your ass again. He gets caught in a fucking triangle, a deep triangle, and Ortega has the leg, has the triangle. He's doing everything he's got to do. And Volkanovski, again, just rolls and flails and is able to pop himself out. Bro, it was crazy. And then Ortega got another submission. He had him in a darce. And Volkanovski technically got it in the darce. But you know what I'm saying? It was a fun thing to fucking watch. Everybody was hype as fuck because we had just watched Brian Ortega get beat up, and now he's about to win the fight. And then Volkanovski didn't let him win the fight, and he's about to win the fight again. And then Volkanovski, it didn't make It was so wild. It was great. It was an awesome round. Volkanovski ends the round on top, still pounding away. It was beautiful to watch. Then that moves us on to the fourth round. And in the fourth round, Volkanovski is just beating the dog shit out of Ortega the entire time. And in between the third and fourth rounds, by the way, doctors came in. And it was like Ortega was definitely not answering the questions correctly. And then they were like, you know what, we're just going to wait. All right, are you going to answer them correctly now? And then they're just asking him again. And then they finally went, how many fingers am I holding up? And there's one. Okay, you can get back in there. Doctor, stop the fight. Stop the fight. It's your job. I get it if the man's is cut up and he's like, nah, I can fight. What's wrong with you, bro? But if man's is literally like walking the opposite direction of where you're telling him to walk and like answering the questions wrong and like literally like only getting numbers right, you gotta like you gotta do your job. And I'm not always a proponent of the doctors doing their job, but you gotta do your job. That moves us on to the fifth round. And in this fifth round, Brian Ortega went for broke. For 5 minutes, this man's was trying and swinging everything he had into punches. He was landing. He was throwing combinations. He was trying his best to get Volk out of there. But Volkanovski was also way better conditioned. He hadn't got the shit beat out of him for 15 out of the 20 minutes so far. And, yeah, he was just better conditioned. He was able to withstand the, like, everything and throw his own shit back and won that round too. Volkanovski proved to everyone why he is right now the 145-pound champ. This was an amazing performance by him. Brian Ortega showed all the heart in the world. It was also a great performance by him. I don't give a fuck how he looked. Everybody's gonna look worse. Everybody's gonna look worse. Everybody else, other than Max Holloway, is gonna look worse. Those are the three best featherweights on the planet. Period. Point blank. Three best. For sure. Undisputed. Oops. Oh my God. That card was amazing. And now that brings us into UFC Vegas 38. Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker. This is going to be an 11-fight card according to the UFC website. There's no prelims. It's just going to be a fight card. It's 11 fights long. Yeah, there are no fucking prelims, and that's awesome. I'm all for everybody getting a bag. I'm all for everybody being on TV. All right, 11-fight card. Alejandro Perez versus Johnny Edwardo. I'm not going to lie, I don't know much about these guys. I don't know anything about these guys, to be honest. So, I'm not going to give my pick. I'm just going to say I hope it's a good fight. I ain't even going to lie to you. I've heard of Alejandro Perez. Probably should have done some more research, but I got a lot of podcasts to film this week. Apologies. But not really, because I'm filming a lot, you know what I mean? We're going to talk about the NFL 3 times this week. It's fire. We might even talk about baseball. October's on Friday. Might be talking about baseball. All right, next fight, Douglas Silva de Andrade versus Gaetano Poreglio. Poreglio. I'm going to go with Douglas Silva de Andrade on this one. I think he's the better all-around fighter. You know what I'm saying? I think he's had the experience to get the job done in this one. Next, we got Devonta Smith versus Jamie Balarchy. I'm going to go Devonta Smith. He's got power. He's got speed. He's got athleticism, and he loves to fight. So I'm going to go Devonta Smith. Hi, baby. Next up, we got the return of the original female or women's MMA heel, Betch Correa. She's going to fight Carol Rosa. Really downward slide for Betch Correa. I'm going to give this fight to Carol Rosa. I think Betch Correa has seen the best of her days. I think she's one of those vet fighters that's slowly going down. Next, Antonina Shevchenko versus Casey O'Neill. This is going to be a real good fight. This is Casey O'Neill comes to bang every single time. Antonina Shevchenko, great martial artist, sister of Valentina Chefchako, of course. Been doing martial arts from a young age. This is a toss-up for me because I believe in Casey O'Neill. And Antonina has definitely upset me in the past. I'm going to go Casey O'Neill. I like Casey O'Neill in this fight. I think she's able to get her down and control her. And, yeah. All right, next fight. We got Joe Salecki versus Jared Gordon. I'm going to go Joe Salecki. Joe Salecki's a dog. That's how I'm going to describe that. This is going to be a fun display of striking. Aspen Ladd versus Macy Chiasson. Aspen Ladd ranked in the top 5 of that bantamweight division. Macy Chiasson ranked outside the top 10. This could be Macy. You know, she won the Ultimate Fighter. This could be Macy's coming out party to the common or the casual fan. Aspen Ladd, dog. She's real good. She had that L versus Jermaine after that horrible weight cut. But I do think she gets back on track. I do think she wins this fight. But I'm not saying Macy's not going to have a good performance. I still believe in her. Next up, Misha Serkina versus Christoph Jock. I met Christoph Jock at my job one time. I served him. He's the nicest guy in the world. I kind of recognized him. I think he was a little weirded out by being recognized. But, yeah, I mean, good guy, though. Good fucking dude. Him and his wife were pleasant people. Misha Serkinov, though, is a dog. Christoph Jock is also a dog. This is going to be a great fight. For my own personal selfish reasons, I'm going to go Christoph Jock, although I do think he has a great chance of winning this fight. Still, even with my personal, I probably would have picked him anyway, but Misha Serkinov is a dog. That man he's a real, he comes to scrap every time. He's a real fighter. Alex Oliveira versus Nico Price. The return of Nico the Hybrid. I love Nico the Hybrid. I love when he fights. Another Florida boy. He wild as hell. Alex Oliveira never put on a boring fight in his entire life. So this is going to be a great fight. I'm going to go Nico Price. I think Oliveira's a vet on the way down. Probably just here to make money, have some fun fights. He's not really trying to do anything. Nico the Hybrid Price. I'm going to say his entire name. I don't care. Nico the Hybrid Price is he's one of those guys that wants to fight top level competition. He wants to keep getting better, but he also wants to put on fun fights. So I'm gonna give it to Nico in this one. Definitely the unorthodox guy of the UFC. All right, this is the real main event in my opinion. We got Kevin Holland versus Kyle Dawkins. Kyle Dawkins is a scrapper. That man comes to fight every single time. Kevin Holland is Kevin Holland, which means he's going to talk that shit. He's going to talk all the game in the world. He's going to make sure that you know it's Kevin Holland standing right in front of you. I love Kevin Holland. I'm glad he took some time off, worked on what he needed to work on. We'll see. I don't think this is going to be a wrestling fight. May lead to that at some point. I don't think we'll see the improvements, but I do think he gets this win. Kevin Holland is amazing. I think he's one of the better middleweights in the world as far as striking and athlete-wise. And last but not least, main event of the evening, Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker. Thiago Santos, he's coming off a little bit of a skid since the John Jones fight and the double knee surgery. Johnny Walker, he's had his ups and downs since that big push by the UFC. Both these guys Brazilian. Both these guys have heavy hands. Johnny Walker might be the more explosive guy. Thiago Santos, the more technical guy. I like Thiago in this fight. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I think Thiago Santos wins this fight by knockout. If I had to put a guess on it. All right. Thank you to Buddy for being such a good boy, Such a good boy. Yeah. You're so beautiful. I love you. He's the best. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're the coolest. You're the coolest. Good boy. Good boy. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. I'm going to dance out even though there's no music. And woo!